I'm Noeli and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about how to film and edit YouTube videos like a pro. So I'm going to teach you all the tips and tricks on how to create a YouTube video. I'm going to spill all my secrets to you. And if you're new here, I dropped out of physical therapy school to become a circus performer, and now I create YouTube videos that document this whole circus journey that I've been on. So if you want to continue to watch this really weird adventure, please go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. And with that, let's get started. The first thing that everybody asks is, what do you use to film? So for the first couple of videos that I uploaded, I actually used my iPhone. And I stopped using my iPhone because when I started editing on Final Cut Pro with my iPhone footage, it turns out that there would be a lot of glitches in the exported footage, which was really hard to take out and time consuming. So I decided to go from this to my camera. So I use a Canon M50. The reason why I chose the Canon M50 is because the screen flips out to the side, so I'm able to see myself while I'm filming, and the screen doesn't get in the way of putting an external microphone on the top of the camera. And the second reason is that it has a really dope autofocus face tracking. So when I'm moving around, the camera catches my face so that it's always clear and crisp. And I just genuinely love this camera. I did have to buy a memory card to go with the Canon M50, and the Canon M50 comes with a 15 to 45 millimeter lens, and that is what I use mostly for vlogging type footage. And when I was first starting out with my channel, that is what I used for most of my videos. And so the 50 to 45 millimeter lens is really all that you need, but your girl went a little bougie. So the two Boujee lenses that I got are the 50 millimeter f1.8 lens. That is how I get that artistic blurry background of mine in my portrait shots. And the second lens that I got is the 10 to 18 millimeter lens, and this is really for those wide angle travel shots, and you can see that a lot in my fitness videos. These two Boujee lenses come in a pack together on Amazon if you would like to buy both of them. So I did put that in the description box below, as well as a link to the separate lenses themselves, depending on what sort of YouTube video you would like to create. And something that's really important that most people don't talk about is to actually clean your lenses the correct way. So I did buy a cleaning kit for my lenses. So for these two Boujee lenses, you will need a mount adapter if you do have a Canon M50. And when you use a mount adapter for your Canon M50, it is notorious for draining the battery. So what a lot of people do is they take off the lens, take off the mount adapter when they're not using their camera. So my little trick to not drain the battery as much is take out the battery. That's it. And another thing that I honestly believe is essential for YouTube is really nice audio quality. So if you're gonna invest in anything for your camera, it would be a microphone. And the microphone that I use is the Rode Video Micro microphone. And I really enjoy it. I think it's great. It's really easy to use. So that's it for my camera setup. So let's talk about lighting. When I first started out, I didn't have fancy lighting equipment. So what I would do is I would literally put my camera against the window and use the natural window light as my lighting. And it totally worked. The only problem with that is you have to time when you film. So I would film during the mornings when the light wasn't too harsh, or during golden hour around 4 or 5 p.m. So I live in Montreal, and during the winter time and springtime, the weather is sort of all over the place. So it was really hard to predict when I could actually film. And so that's why I decided to get lighting equipment so that I could film at whatever time of day I wanted. So the equipment that I have now for lighting are my ring light and 2 softboxes, and I also got my newer tripod to put my camera on top of. So now I'd like to show you what the lighting looks like with and without these different elements. So this is what it looks like when everything is turned off. This is what it looks like when the ring light is on. This is what it looks like when both softboxes are on. Glorious! So as you can see, lighting makes a difference. But if you're first starting out and you don't know if you want to do YouTube for a long time or make it a full-time career, then definitely just use a window. Now it's time to shoot our A-roll. And the A-roll is really the main talking points that you see. It's whenever we're talking together. And that is really the through line of this whole video, this whole story that I'm creating. And once you finish the A-roll, you gotta shoot B-roll. And B-roll is really the extra supporting footage that adds that extra layer of depth to your story or your through line of your video. And honestly, that is what sets you apart from all of the other videos on the internet and keeps your audience entertained. And now that we're all done with our filming, let's move on to my personal favorite part, the editing. So this is where the editing magic happens. My kitchen table. And get comfy, grab some tea, because we're gonna be here for a long time. So the first step is we gotta import our footage onto our computer. So I take my memory card, put it into my USB hub, and I actually upload my footage onto my hard drive. And after putting my footage onto my hard drive, I then upload my footage onto Final Cut Pro. And the reason why is because I used to run out of disk space all the time on my computer, and it made things really, really difficult. So I decided to invest in a hard drive to alleviate some space on my computer. And so far, this method has worked flawlessly. Now we're gonna do our rough cut. And this is where we take our A-roll that we shot earlier, and we are trimming it down to the main talking points. So the way that we trim it down is we press B for our blade tool, and we just start cutting out pauses first. We're cutting out all of those long, awkward pauses and those big breaths where I'm inhaling for dear life. And we cut all of that out. And now comes the most tedious part of going take by take and trimming all the footage down to the bare skeletal bones that this video is going to rely on. After we're done with our rough cut, now it's time to put some music in there to jazz things up. And YouTube is really cracking down on copyrighted sounds. So because of this, I would just bite the bullet and get a music subscription service. And the subscription service that I personally use is Epidemic Sound. I really love it. That's where I get my music and my sound effects. I'll be honest, I do have to pay monthly, but I haven't had any issues with copyright claims or strikes. And this is some of my favorite Epidemic Sound jams.
Love is exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of
interested in trying it out, I do have a referral code that I put in the description box below. Next, we're adding our B-roll on top of our A-roll, and that's really gonna enhance our videos, give it depth and flavor, so that you will be able to keep your viewers entertained throughout your whole entire video. And then we get to the fancy stuff, the graphics, effects, and transitions. This is the bread and butter of how to make your video super fancy. So first I'll start off with the titles that I use. I honestly am basic, so I use a basic title. And these are some of the fonts that I use. They should be popping up all around me right now. And some of the things that I like to do with my fonts is outline them, add a nice little drop shadow, and maybe it's because I'm a 90s kid and I used to draw drop shadows on my bubble letters. I am now obsessed with creating a drop shadow. And another thing that I am obsessed with is the typewriter title. I honestly looked at so many YouTube videos trying to figure out how to get a typewriter effect, and all you have to do is drag the typewriter title on top of your footage and it does the typewriter effect for you. And Final Cut Pro comes with the sound effect typewriter manual, and that is how you get the nice typewriter sound with your typewriter title. The more you know. And for graphics, I love putting little cute cartoon images all over my screen. And I use Canva. Canva you can use for free. Now I gotta be straight up with you, I did pay for a monthly subscription to Canva. I did this because I don't just use Canva for creating YouTube videos, I also use it for YouTube thumbnails, my Instagram, and whatever you need for your present and future online life. So for me, I found Canva worth it. And also you can download images with a transparent background, and you get a whole bunch of images without a gross looking watermark. And something I get asked a lot about is, how do I put a little video in a Polaroid? And yes, that was absolutely inspired by Harry Potter. And I'm gonna show you really quick how to do it right now. So we go to Canva and we go to YouTube channel art. Then we go to photos, type in Polaroid, grab a Polaroid. Then we're gonna download the image and make sure to hit transparent background. Yay! Then you're gonna drag your Polaroid in, get the video that you want also to put on the Polaroid, hit transform, then make the image smaller and line it up with the black part of the Polaroid. You're going to hit crop, and it's on trim already, so you're just gonna trim it down so that the image just fills the black part. And there you have it. Some effects that I use for my videos are camcorder, bad TV, and black and white if I'm doing like a throwback scene. And if you're wondering how I made like a VHS effect or a glitchy transition, I actually got all of those for free from Ryan Mangle. He has a website with a bunch of effects and transitions, and you can actually get a whole lot of them to download for free, and that is exactly what I did. My personal favorite transition from him is the free glitch pack. So I went ahead and linked down in the description box his YouTube video that shows how his free glitch transitions look, so you can decide whether or not you want to download that free plugin. And sort of the icing on the cake after doing all of this work is color grading. And I honestly learned how to color grade for free without having to purchase LUTS or anything like that from Daniel Schiffer. So I linked his YouTube video down below. And you can go to his video to get a full in-depth tutorial on how to get that pink and teal aesthetic look that most YouTubers are going for. For me, I'm only interested in getting a really nice, crisp and clean shot. So I only use the base correction layer that he provides in the YouTube video, and I don't really go into the look grade layer that he also provides in that video. To further explain, I'll show you an example of how I color grade. So we go to titles, and we grab our base correction and we drag that sucker in. And then we go to effects, we bring in the color board onto the base correction title. So now we're going to go to the top right of the screen, close out the titles, and we're going to hit Command 7 so that our Luma waveform shows up. Underneath view, there's a little icon, and you can check with the scope that it's in waveform and with the channels that it's in Luma. So that looks good. And now we go to this little triangle over here. So we're in exposure, and specifically we're going to play with the highlights and the shadows. So with the highlights, you want to drag it up to around 100. If you go farther than that, it starts to flatline and you're losing data. So that's not good. So I stick around 100. And for the shadows, you want to stick around 0. Another thing that you can do is grab another color board and drag it into the base correction. So now you have color board 2, and you can play with the color. So we can bring it to the reddish orange if you want like a warmer tone, and this is with it off, this is with it on. Or if you want like a cool scene, you can bring it to the blues, and this is off, on. But I honestly like to leave it off. Now we can switch to color board 1, and I'll show you what it looks like with and without the color grade, which is insane. I also created this to show the right side, which is color graded, and the left side, which is not. Big difference. So that's it. That's how you film and edit your YouTube videos. If you want to help a girl out, and if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more circus related videos, please subscribe and ring that bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. And I'm going to leave a couple of videos here for you to watch, and I'll see you over there. Okay, bye!